It is 11:42 at night. The house is completely dark, except for the harsh blue light of your phone resting on the kitchen counter. You sit on a wooden stool. Your fingers are locked around a cold ceramic mug. You stare at those tiny words on the screen. Read at 10:15 p.m. No reply. The only sound in the whole house is the low, monotonous humming of the refrigerator. You look at the screen. You look down at your hands. And in that quiet space, a cold realization creeps into your chest. It is a feeling you have carried through crowded hallways, busy coffee shops, and family dinner tables. It is the terrifying thought that you could quietly drift away tomorrow, and the world would simply keep spinning without missing a beat. You are connected to everyone, yet known by no one. You answer every text. You show up for every birthday party. You sit patiently and listen to everyone else talk about their bad days, their heartbreaks, and their big dreams. But when the room clears out, nobody turns around to ask how you are doing. Nobody checks on the person who always holds everything together. You are tired. You are exhausted. You sit in the dark and wonder if your presence actually matters to anyone. This is not a temporary bad mood. This is not just a tough week. This is not a fleeting wave of sadness. This is the suffocating weight of feeling completely invisible in your own life. You might have hundreds of contacts stored in your phone. You might sleep next to someone every night. You might work in an office full of constant chatter. But emotional isolation does not care about the size of a crowd. It lives in the gap between being seen and being truly known. You can be surrounded by noise and still feel the deafening silence of being forgotten. Here's what most people miss about this kind of pain. We think loneliness comes from sitting alone in an empty room, but the deepest, most painful loneliness happens when you are surrounded by people who claim to care about you, yet you feel completely untouched by their warmth. You give and give until your tank is empty, only to realize nobody ever noticed you were running on fumes. Look down at your hands right now. Look at those white knuckles, gripping that cold mug in the dark. You are holding on so tightly because you feel like if you let go, there is no one standing behind you to catch you. Your hands feel completely, painfully empty. You wonder how long you can keep carrying this weight. You wonder if anyone in the universe actually sees your tears, or if you are destined to live as a ghost in your own story. If you feel like you are standing alone in the dark tonight, you are not the first person to cry out into an empty room. 2,600 years ago, an entire nation sat in the dust. The year was 586 BC. The great city of Jerusalem had been burned to ashes. Homes were destroyed. Families were torn apart. Thousands of exhausted refugees were forced to march in heavy iron chains along the scorching, dusty roads toward Babylon. They looked at their blistered feet. They looked at the smoke rising behind them. They believed their God had turned his back on them forever. In their despair, they cried out words that might sound very familiar to you. They said, "The Lord has forsaken me. My Lord has forgotten me." They felt invisible. They felt discarded. They felt like their pain was too small for the Creator of the universe to care about. And this is where it gets remarkable. God did not respond to their despair with anger or scolding. He answered them through the prophet Isaiah with a statement so profound, so deeply tender, that it shattered their understanding of love forever. Listen to the words God spoke to those heartbroken people in Isaiah chapter 49, verses 15 through 16. Can a mother forget the baby at her breast and have no compassion on the child she has borne? Though she may forget, I will not forget you. See, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands. Your walls are ever before me. Read those words again in your heart. To help a hurting person understand his devotion, God did not point to the giant mountains. He did not point to the vast oceans or the distant stars. Instead, He pointed to the fierce, protective bond between a mother and her newborn baby. It is the strongest biological connection in human existence. A mother hears her baby cry in the middle of the night, and her entire body reacts. Yet God says that even if a human mother could somehow forget her own child, He could never forget you. The original ancient Hebrew word used for engraved in that passage is Chaqaq. It does not mean writing with ink that can rub off or wash away in the rain. It means to carve, to cut, or to chisel deep into stone, metal, or flesh. In ancient times, servants wore the mark of their master on their wrist. But God turned that entire tradition upside down. The Almighty Creator of heaven and earth took a chisel and carved your name into His own hands. Think about what that ancient truth means for you right now, in this very moment. Go back to that kitchen table at 11:42 at night. Look back down at your hands. Look at those fingers wrapped around that cold ceramic mug. Your hands feel empty because human beings have let you down. Friends forgot to text back. Family members overlooked your pain. Coworkers took your hard work for granted. Human love, even at its absolute best, is limited. People get tired. People get distracted. People get wrapped up in their own heavy burdens and fail to notice yours. But while human hands drop things, forget things, and pull away, the hands of God hold you fast. Here's the part nobody tells you. When you feel completely invisible to the world, you are not actually missing. You are simply looking for recognition in places that were never designed to give you your ultimate worth. God's remembrance of you is not a fleeting thought. It is not a distant memory. It is not a temporary feeling. It is an eternal engraving. When Jesus lived among us and went to the cross, physical nails were driven straight through the palms of His hands. When He rose from the dead, He kept those scars. Every single time God looks at His own hands, He sees the permanent proof of His love for you. You do not have to perform to be seen by Him. You do not have to carry everything by yourself just to prove you deserve a place in the room. You are already carved into His very nature. So how do you take this profound truth and actually use it to heal the deep ache in your chest tonight? How do you transform this silent anxiety into a positive, peaceful state of mind? There are 3 practical steps you can start taking right now. First, you must audit the invisible narrative running through your head. When someone does not reply to your text, or when a friend forgets to invite you out, your mind instantly fills in the blanks with a cruel story. You tell yourself that you do not matter. You tell yourself that you are annoying, forgettable, or burdensome. You need to interrupt that lie the moment it starts. Human silence is not divine rejection. People are busy and broken, but God is attentive and present. Separate human emotional limits from your eternal value. Second, practice the palm anchoring habit every day. You look at your hands dozens of times every single day. You look at them when you scroll through your phone, when you wash your face, when you hold a cup of coffee. Turn those ordinary moments into a quiet physical anchor. Every time you open your hands, look at your palms and remind your heart of Isaiah chapter 49. Tell yourself quietly, I am carved here. My name is known. I am not forgotten. Let your physical hands become a constant reminder that you are held by hands that carry permanent love. Third, shift your mindset from waiting to be seen to becoming the light for someone else. Isolation loves isolation. It tricks you into pulling back, shrinking down, and building walls around your heart. Break that cycle tonight. Think of one person in your life who might be sitting in their own quiet room right now, feeling just as invisible as you have felt. Send them a simple, genuine message. You do not need to ask for anything in return. Just let them know they matter. When you step out of your own shadow to shine a light on someone else, the dark room in your own heart instantly gets brighter. You were never meant to walk through this life feeling like a phantom in your own story. If you take nothing else from this moment, Hold tightly to these three eternal truths. First, human devotion will sometimes fracture, but God's covenant with you is chiseled into eternity. Second, unanswered messages and human silence do not dictate your true value or visibility. And third, you have never spent a single second alone in the dark, because the hands that hold the universe hold the permanent memory of your name. Before you close this video tonight, I want to ask you one question. When was the last time you felt completely invisible? And what is one small way you can remind yourself tonight that you are seen? Leave your answer in the comments below. Let this space be a place where we remind each other that none of us are walking alone. Sleep peacefully tonight. You are known, you are loved, and you are forever engraved on the palms of God.